What's up in War Eagle War Report family? It's your guy, Ike Jones. We are back with another morning drop today, talking about the start of fall camp. Whatever. Anyway, fall camp's here, man. We want to get in here and talk a little bit about what we didn't see and some of the comments from Coach Hugh Freeze to address the media. Y'all know how we do right here, War Report style. Let's drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report. Drop.
Morning drop. We are here this morning. It is Friday morning, August the 4th. TheRogueShop.com sponsoring today's morning drop. As always, make sure you head over there using code RAPPORT. In here with me this morning is my guy, B Will. Friday morning, August 4th, fall camp, football.
Yeah.
We in here.
Pigskin. If you just say a bunch of names, say a bunch of synonyms for football. Yeah, we in here, man. It's time. Fall camp has started. I am. It's about time, man. I've been ready for football for a while. The recruiting boon has been great to kind of help us bridge the gap between the end of spring and the start of fall. But no, it's time for some football, man.
Yeah. I think Coach Hugh Freeze coming to the Plains has made people super excited again, as evidenced by the sale of tickets, as evidenced by the amount of Twitter energy that's floating around here dealing with recruiting, as evidenced by the influx of capital that is moving in the direction of the football program in terms of on to victory NIL stuff. Oh, yeah. There's excitement on the Plains right now, but it's time to show and prove.
Yeah. It's time.
We need to get out there and see what's up. Coach Hugh Freeze addressed the media. Our guy Mike G was down there in the room asking questions. First question off the bat.
Yeah.
Coach Freeze, what's up with the status of Jarquez Hunter? Yeah. Coach Freeze returns with the familiar refrain. I ain't talking about that. I ain't got nothing to say. No comment. Plead the fifth.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be a disciplinary issue until it's not, and then we'll see him on the field.
Yeah.
We
don't know. I mean, we don't know what the deal is. We do know that he is now allowed back in the facility, right? So he is able to get back in there with the guys, but he was not practicing yesterday. At least he was not present in practice during the meet. This is something I want to make clear to people, or make sure everybody understands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Jarquez Hunter didn't practice yesterday. Let's be 100% clear about that. I haven't confirmed or denied that with anybody who was there for the entirety of the practice. The media that viewed practice yesterday, we know this for a fact because, again, Mike was there. They're only there for like the first 15, 20 minutes of practice.
Yeah, it's a very small subset of practice, yeah.
So Jarquez Hunter could have tried it out there an hour later. We have no idea.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. So, because I haven't talked to anybody to find out that maybe somebody else did. I haven't personally talked to anybody to be like, hey, did Jarquez Hunter ever show up for practice yesterday? Because he wasn't there during the beginning of it. I haven't asked anybody. I don't really want to ask. Like, me knowing that information doesn't tell me that he's even going to play in the first game.
Right.
And I get everybody wanting to have more information so that they could feel some closure about it. But clearly, Coach Hugh Freeze ain't giving us nothing. And we will find out whenever he feels as if he's at liberty to say.
Right. Well, he's no longer at liberty. He's at Auburn. But anyway, whenever he feels like he can
Hit me with that.
He can give us info. I have long been of the mind that they're gonna slow walk this, answer no questions about it, and then the week of say Jarquez has been reinstated after a full investigation, and he will serve a 1/2 game suspension. One game at the most. I think it's entirely going to be, we handled it. We told you we were handling, which is why you didn't see him. We have handled it. You will now see him again That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what people expect. I mean, this isn't unusual. Like for a coach to be hushed about a situation that's unresolved with one of their players.
Mhm.
And it's clear that they are working through a process and that Jarquez Hunter has already suffered some consequences of it. What will be the final outcome? We don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I just want everybody. It's real difficult for me to advocate for patience from people because that's just not in the nature of most people to just be patient. Here's one
Right.
thing that I'm sure of. I'm positive of this. We have a really good running back room.
Yes.
With or without Jarquez. I think we have an elite running back room with Jarquez Hunter. I think we have a very good running back room without him.
Yes. Yes.
So they'll get it figured out, and we will still be running up on people as long as the blocking is there.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no concerns of if any position could take a hit, it was running back.
Right.
Running back needs the least amount of reps to be ready for college, I think. If we were talking about new guys getting on the field, Damari doesn't have a lot of snaps. Cobb has no snaps, but T has plenty of snaps. But even if Batee wasn't here, between Damari and Sean Jackson, I'd be like, oh, they'll probably be all right for a couple games. I'm just not worried about the running back room at all.
Yeah, that's one room I'm not worried about. Definitely want you guys to not be worried. We're here for you all. So share the video. We're not going anywhere for the next 20 minutes. We'll be in here talking a little Auburn football. Share the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you just kind of been in here meandering. I always got to throw a collegiate word out there for you guys. Just been meandering. You can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Show us a little free love. Don't cost nothing for you to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live, all those things. If YouTube decides to notify you, because apparently it's up to their discretion, not your notification preferences sometimes. Anyway, let's get back into talking about more important things happening that apparently sent the Twitter sphere into a frenzy. Was the presence of blue pants on players. And everybody's like, oh my God, they're wearing blue pants. Did you see the blue pants? It was interesting to watch the very. Whenever we get into this uniform conversation, I always chuckle because there are some people who are so committed to this idea that tradition, that's not what Auburn wears. Our pants are white. It's like, bro, it's a uniform, man. Settle down. Settle down. It's okay. It's okay. It's still the same school colors, right? Like they didn't go and put on crimson pants. They're not Mike G out here wearing crimson colors for whatever reason. I don't listen. I do. Let me just say this unequivocally. I do not endorse the colors that Mike G chooses to wear for his shirts on this show. He didn't run it through our wardrobe department. It doesn't have no War Report logo on it, so you know I didn't create it. However, blue pants, man. It was a thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, some people were just like, I hate it. Why are you changing things? Yeah. And some people were like, oh, that's so fire, bro. They finna be out here in all blue cuz. Yeah. And I'm just like, it's practice, bro. I really felt like I was Allen Iverson in that moment. Like it's practice. We talking about practice. And then the whole, like the uniform, the Twitter uniform, Auburn uniforms account was like, the blue pants are only for practice, people. Like they had to like calm people down. Apparently somebody like running across campus into a room like, show me where these pants are. You shall not wear them on game. I don't know what is going on with this uniform. Like they be so been out of shape about these uniforms, man. But the kids want to wear. Here's my thing. The guys on the team want to wear alternate stuff. Why
They
can't
do.
you let the people who need to be in the uniforms decide whether or not they want to do it? Put it to a vote. The coaches say, all right, cool, yes or no, and let them wear the stuff, man. Why is it such a big deal?
I don't know, man. I mean, do we think that some Auburn fans would turn the TV off, not come to the games and get
They're
in the
like, what
stands
is this blue?
if the
I'm
colors
out.
were different?
I
I
don't know.
don't I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm much more concerned with whether or not we are throttling our opponents and not what we are wearing while we are doing it. But I understand that tradition is very important. It's more important to some than to others. All right. So they want to tune in and see their beloved Auburn Tigers in the same colors, the same white bottoms, the same white away jerseys, navy home jerseys.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't
some
understand.
people like hated the face mask changes that we did the last couple of years, and I was just like, "Yo, it's a face mask."
Yeah, that's I don't understand the people getting themselves worked up about it. But I admit I like the blue. I wasn't for a lot of change. I wouldn't say I wasn't for change. I like the idea of changing these things up, even if it's just for like, hey, one game a season, we're gonna alternate something. Blue pants. I think blue on blue would look fire.
I think it would look fire too, man. I mean,
Fire.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I think a blue helmet would be fire too.
Oh, all blue. Oh, you know
Yeah,
what? Blue on blue on blue. Blue on all
if
blue.
they go to straight midnight situation, bruh, I would be here for it. All navy, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be here for it, bruh.
You know what? I think I might actually go and buy. If they did blue jerseys, I would buy one. I would buy one and get like B Will on the back, just like a corny dad. I would absolutely do it. I would You know what? If they go blue, not only am I buying one for me, I'm buying one for my kids, and we're gonna all wear it when we go on campus. I'm corny like that. If they go blue, I'm going corny like that. I love it. I love the blue. The blue, man, navy just it hits different. But I mean, listen, man, we love the tradition. We do love the tradition. The pants are really what set it off with the blue. I don't know why you would tease this fan base and get them worked up with blue pants, though. Like, don't do that. Y'all know what y'all Auburn uniform department account. They know what they're doing. They did this last year, right? They had the something over a very small sliver of orange jersey. Everyone like, oh, we're going orange jerseys. No, we're not. It was like the stripe
Apparently,
on
the
the arm.
orange jersey exists. There is an orange jersey out there somewhere. They just were not allowed to actually wear it. But someone did mock up an orange jersey. Rumor has it. But
Well, we'd never
yeah.
see. You'll never see the light of day.
I don't know that we'll ever see an orange. I don't know that I want to see an orange jersey.
I don't know.
Like,
It just seems like a non-contact jersey. Every time I see a loud jersey, I think Clemson's orange jerseys look stupid. It's too bright. It's too bright. It looks weird, man. I don't like it. I don't really like that. I like Oregon's change ups, but when they go neon green, that looks stupid. It's too bright. That's too bright. It's football, man. You're not crossing the street. Get that out of there.
yeah. Anyway, I don't know, man. Uniforms, whether or not we're going to get some sort of alternate uniform. We've had that discussion here on this channel, and I was very much tickled at the responses that people are so passionate about this uniform thing, man, about being like adamantly opposed to it. Like, it is the worst thing. We are ripping the soul of Auburn University away if we change what the traditional uniform looks like, and I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Anyway, other things that happened yesterday during spring practice. Of course, media viewing window is a very short amount of time. And I think people were considering, I heard Coach Hugh Freeze say out of his own mouth in the press conference before they started practicing that there has not been a decision on who the starting quarterback is going to be. Right. And they are going to rotate guys at the 1, 2, and 3 spot throughout practice.
Right.
Then practice starts and people make a big deal about the fact that Peyton Thorne was out there with the ones. And it's like, did y'all not just...
He just told you.
He literally just said, like, not 10 minutes ago, he said he's going to be rotating people out with who's with the ones, the twos, and the he just said that. But he went out first with the ones.
Hey man. Having been at all of the spring media practices and being able to see that 15, 20 minute window as well. No, you good. We can go ahead and read it while it's up. I mean, how about that? See Seth Wood saying, I don't think the QB rotation matters right now. It doesn't. Freeze probably wants more info on Thorne and Gurner. And 2, he wants to see how Robbie would react to 3rd. So very interesting that Hugh Freeze said, I need to stress these guys in the way that they have not been stressed.
Yeah. Oh, he said specifically, he was like, I'm going to put them in situation. Because again, Mike G asked the question, or he made the statement that the wide receivers basically said it was fun at practice again. And he was like, I hope they still feel like that after fall camp, because I'm probably about to piss some people off on purpose.
Mm-hmm. So that's good. And the reason that's good is if I know what your weakness is, what's going to get you riled up, what's going to make you have steam coming out of your ears, then I'm going to do it. And specifically when it comes to Robbie Ashford, if his maturity and his leadership has been in question before, all right, let's see how you handle it now. Because
put you at the back of the line on purpose.
Right. Not only are you at the back of the line, but I'm going to put you out there. I'm going to put somebody at your tight end in wide receiver spots who has been faulty over the course of the spring. Let them drop some of your passes. So you got some incompletions on your record. See how you feel about that. Let's put you in situations not where you're going to fail physically, but mentally and emotionally, you have to stay composed to keep the ship going. I think that's a fantastic way to test and see if these guys have really been improving at whatever their weakness is. If I have questions about your decision-making once you feel a rush on you, whether that's Gurner or Peyton Thorne, then I'm going to be like, hey, bring that offensive lineman down. Tell him don't move. Put somebody in his face. Make the throw. Make the throw. You got somebody bearing down on you.
That would be throw. That would be diabolical. I ain't gonna lie if he was like,
I mean, he can't make contact with him.
No, I'm just saying though, but on this play, don't block. Like, make sure you blow your blocking assignment because I want to see how he reacts.
Right. I love that. That's fantastic because I want to see whatever you're not good at. If you're good at going out there and hey, we got the A1 zip and the B26. All right, cool. You could do that. Now, what's the play? We didn't get it in time. Go. Sit down. Sit down. That's what I want to do. I want to whatever you're not good at. That's the situation I'm going to put you in.
Right.
Because we saw in camp, and this was spring camp, they do this drill where you line up and it's all 11 and there's no defense out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just snap the ball. A coach snaps the ball, throws it to the quarterback, go. So they know what plays they're running. They go. The wide receiver catches it or the running back runs it, and they blow the whistle when the play's dead because nobody's out there to tackle. So as soon as they blow the whistle, that's where the ball is spotted, and then they come back to the new line of scrimmage and they go again. So it's all scripted. They know exactly what those plays are. They didn't have to call anything out where they're going. So we saw at times what we thought was a first string quarterback with some second string tight ends or second string wide receivers or third string running backs. They were mixing it all up. My guess is that that's a situation where, and I think that's part of what they do in the media viewing session. I don't think they're really doing, we know they didn't do any heavy duty contact offense, defense stuff in media viewing. They didn't do that in spring. My guess is they wouldn't do that the first day of camp either.
Right.
But I would expect for the viewing, that is probably what happened that had people's antenna up. Say, oh, he's running with the threes. Yeah, but they're mixing all this stuff up. They're mixing everything up. I don't even think threes are actually necessarily threes. Some of that, we know some of that's in flux with the rest of the personnel. When not just quarterback, we're talking about where we think the running backs might have a pecking order, but what linebackers are going to be, that's in flux. Where the offensive line, that's probably in flux. Wide receivers, I think, is definitely in flux. We got too many in. We got too many new ones.
Yeah.
So I think it's way too premature to try to make heads or tails of who's out there with what, especially because he just told you.
Yeah, literally.
He just told you that this means nothing. The next media, and this is the thing, if people don't see Peyton Thorne with some what they think are second string or third string players. They're gonna be like, oh, I don't know. He was with this group the last time. He must be the. You didn't see an hour of practice. You saw 15 minutes, and you didn't see an hour, and now you think you know what the entire pecking order is going to be. Let's stop that. There's no reason.
And here's the thing: you could be 100% correct, but I just think that it's disingenuous to act as if he didn't just say, I'm going to do this. Like he told you he was. He did it during the fall. During the spring, switching up the order, putting people to different. Thus far, Coach Freeze has been a man of his word. If he said, this is what I intend to do, and he's very careful to say, well, I don't want to tell you I'm going to do something, and then I end up doing something different, and you guys say, well, it's just what he said. He didn't do that. So I think he's being very he's being genuine when he says certain things, and he's choosing his words very carefully because he knows people are going to nitpick every single word that he said. Well, did you hear he said that, but he put a comma after it, and then he put like a little space, and in that space, that's where I think the aliens land. You understand what I'm saying? Because space and aliens go together. Jordan Hare is Roswell. Like, I'm just like, yo, what are we doing out here, family? Like, and I get it, man. I get it. Like, in the absence of information, people are always going to kind of make their own whatever. But sometimes it gets to be a little ridiculous when it's like, yo, he literally just said that this was going to be a thing, bro. Yeah. Like, can we not? Can we not? But hey, listen. I understand. People got to do what they got to do, man. But I'm not gonna make any speculations about anything other than I think that we have a team of players that is looking to do something different this season and change a lot of narratives. As Coach Freeze has been saying, flip the script. I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress throughout the rest of this fall camp. And what's going to be important to me, I've said this multiple times, is really how that offensive line comes together. Who are going to be the five? Hopefully we find the right five this year, and we're not still shuffling the decks. Son's injury. We're going to find a five. They're going to go out there. They're going to gel, and they're going to progress and get better game after game after game. Because that, to me, is I think that I've got enough confidence in all three of the guys in that QB room that if that five up front is good, listen, man, that year that Texas A&M looked like a competent football team under Jimbo Fisher, you know why they were good?
Run game and defense.
They had one of the most experienced offensive lines, and they could run the ball. It wasn't because their quarterback was good.
Right.
All them years that Bama was amazing, they had one of the best offensive lines out there. Now their offensive line has gotten worse and worse and worse, and you've seen they've started to come back to earth a little bit.
Right.
They had good offensive lines.
Yep.
You go out there and you mash people, it makes it easier for your quarterback to be able to operate. They need to get that five right, because I think that there's enough talent in the quarterback room where it won't matter. Now, what the ceiling of all that is, don't know.
Yeah, that's what we don't know. Yeah. We don't know.
But the floor gets raised. When we talk about the relative ceiling, relative floor, the floor gets raised the minute that offensive line starts producing at an elite level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we get elite out of this group? I don't have the first clue. I don't know.
Offensive line play has been really the rise and fall of many programs. It gets pinned on, the coach, or the recruiting was bad, or the quarterback was bad. I watched Florida State fall apart.
Yes.
Because the worst unit on the team across multiple coaches, the offensive line was terrible. Yeah. Here at Auburn, it started to fade under Gus. It stayed bottomed out under Harsin. He didn't improve it. That's it. It's over. You're gone. The worst 2 consecutive years of offensive line play for Gus Malzahn, well, it was really 18 and 20, if we're being honest. But that's it. 2 out of your 3 are in your last 3 years. That's not a coincidence. Yeah. 21 and 22, Harsin, poor offensive line play. You're out of here. You're gone. Yeah, it gets, a quarterback couldn't do this. And now it's all about Bo and what he could or couldn't do. he got dealt a bad hand
Yeah.
in multiple ways here. He did not have a head coach who could recruit the offensive line or adjust what he was doing to make it easier to thrive with a poor offensive line. We saw Cadillac doing 4 games with 2 head coaches who made a lot more money than Cadillac could make the decision to do. Do something that you can actually do consistently and throw everything else away. Offensive line will sink your program if it's not good. If we've got a good one, we can have mediocre quarterback. Like you just said, Kellen Mond was never that good. He had to make a good throw or two. 1 or 2. Hey, can he make that throw? Oh, he made it. Oh, that was the first down. Okay, well, no, they're just going to run out the clock. Like, that's it. That's all they had to do. To the tune of what, 9, 10 wins in a 11-game season? Listen, man, offensive line being good will steady the ship, and we'll get to that 8-9 win mark if the offensive line is as good as Hugh Freeze sounds like he thinks it could be. He sounded encouraged by what the offensive line has looked like in the spring and so far in camp. So maybe he corrected that problem in short order.
Yeah, I am hoping at least improved, right? Like, I'm not saying that they got to go out there and be the elite unit of the nation, but we definitely need to be able to be more consistent with our offensive line play. I need to see last 4 games of the season run blocking, which at times it still wasn't good. We just had elite running back play. And I need to see some semblance of the ability to pass block on a consistent basis. Hey, man, pick up a blitz every now and then. Don't let a 4-man rush destroy your quarterback. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice to be able to see that a little bit more consistently. You're going to get beat every now and then, but can we at least give our guys a chance back there to see what they've got? And then we'll get to see who, because, and I said this the other day, if the offensive line is bad, you have no choice but to play Robbie. Like, you just don't.
Right.
You need the quarterback who can evade the rush. So you're not even giving Peyton Thorne, Holden Geriner an opportunity on an even playing field. It's like, well, we got to do what's best for the offense. And at that point, Robbie becomes the absolute best option. And everybody needs. That's another thing Coach Reeves said. He wants to see who the team rallies behind at the quarterback position. Right. That's going to be important. And you have no choice but to rally behind him in that point. Like, don't tie the coach's hands. Let it be an even contest and let the guys go out there and compete.
Right. And the team will let you know. We've seen this with college teams, pro teams. They're going to go out there and perform. Guys are going to go do their jobs. But listen, nobody wants to play for a quarterback or with a quarterback as an offensive line or as a wide receiver who consistently makes bad decisions, turns the ball over. If you're talking about turning the ball over, the defense don't want to play with you. You're going to put us in. We just got down here, man. You're going to turn the ball? Okay. All right. I just got off the field, but I got to go back out here. And I should have been sitting down for 5 more minutes at least, but you got me going back out here because you can't hold on to the ball. All right, fine. Nobody wants to play behind that guy. They will do it because it's their job, but they don't want to. You want a guy who can go out there and say, hey, I got you. Don't worry about it. We down 4. Let's go get this tut and get it. Let the players tell you who was going to raise the spirits of that locker room. And Hugh Freeze is big about the locker room. He said that. He's been consistent in that. I like the idea of kind of letting, I guess, the locker room get a vote per se. I mean, of course, whoever it is has to execute. The locker room isn't going to pick a guy who's out there missing passes and turn the ball over. But also, who do they like? It's like that. It matters. It makes you play better if you're playing for somebody you want to play for.
Listen, man,
I like it.
Tim Tebow is one of the most motivational quarterbacks ever in the history of football. Wasn't the most talented, but he was able to lead everybody in the right direction. Right. And that sometimes the talent is not the most important thing when you're talking about continuity. There is a thing like cancers in the locker room are a thing, and being super talented does not make you above the ramifications of cancer in a locker room. Right. Sometimes those two things go hand in hand. The super talented people are the cancers in the locker room, and you've got to figure out as a coaching staff. And this is where it becomes difficult. Yes, you're more talented than the young man I'm about to play, but you don't have the right attitude. And I'd rather lose with guys with the right attitude. And this gets coaches fired all the time.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose with the guys who have the better attitude than play you and let you rip my locker room apart.
Right. Yeah.
That's a hard decision. That's one I do not envy any coach having to make. That's why it's important to go out there and just have the right attitude and make a good first impression, especially if you're a guy and you care about your skin.
Okay, I
First
like that.
impressions matter.
I like that.
There's no two ways around it. Your face is the most likely the first thing someone notices about you. How your skin looks is going to determine good, bad, and the first impression is important. I decided it's time to put my best face forward and started using Caldera Labs. I did actually get my Caldera Labs in, start using my skincare regimen because your boy needs to get his skincare situation in. Or I got some blackheads on my face that I don't really like, and I need to make that go away. Anyway, make sure you guys get in there with Caldera Labs. Go to calderalabs.com, Caldera Lab, .com, singular. Use code RAPPORT and you get 20% off of your Caldera Lab purchase. Again, the first impression is super important. Jump into skin and first impression royalty with Caldera Lab, leading men's skincare. Here to save the day and your confidence. Exclusive code RAPPORT, 20% off of the best products available there for you. Make sure you guys go and hit them up using the code. Lets them know the War Report sent you. We want to hear your first impressions on fall camp. So we're going to get in here and look at these comments. We appreciate new member War Eagle 501 coming on board here.
Welcome.
Haley jumps in with our first comment. Y'all going to do Mike like this when he isn't here? Absolutely, we are going to do Mike like that when he isn't here. I'll do it when he is here. I'm going to do it when he isn't here. It doesn't matter.
Y'all know we ain't got no problem roasting Mike up on the stream. That ain't no problem.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Yes.
Absolutely.
He can rewatch it later and he can call me and say, man, why you talking about my shirt? Because you wore it. You don't wear the shirt. I can't talk about the shirt. That's all I got to say about that. 22 Busy comes in and said, would love to see blue pants. He is a fan of the blue pant movement.
Yeah, I think white jerseys on blue pants or blue jerseys on blue pants. I would love to see that. I think it's a bold, clean look. I know Virginia kind of has it. I like it on Virginia. I mean, they did it first. They do it consistently. They're bad at football, though, so we could do it and be good at football here. Makes a world of difference. I'd love to see it.
Eric Montgomery says in the practice videos, those tight ends looked hella big. Excited to see them involved in the routes.
Oh man, I don't think we've actually had tight end play be a part of the game plan here in the passing game, at least. We had tight ends blocking. There were some attempts made in 2021, but once we took a step way back in 2022 with offensive line play, they were just there for moral support for the offensive line. Like there was there wasn't much going for the tight ends, and Gus didn't do much with tight ends. It would be wonderful if we had some really big threats they have to block well. They have to maintain blocking assignments. They have to be assignment sound and physically ready to take on. You're not playing tight in the SEC means you're probably blocking half of the games you play. You're blocking a guy who's going to be in the NFL playing defensive end or linebacker. It's like you are. This is a tough task. So I get why it takes a special tight end talent to be sound in that and still be prepared to be a part of the passing game for an entire game. I think it takes a special talent. We think we got that guy in Fairweather, the athleticism and the strength to both block and be available in the passing game. I really hope that this is the year we get those guys involved. If the offensive line works and works well by itself, it doesn't need the assists constantly, then that could be enough to free up anybody. Like, listen, man, if everybody's doing their job, the tight ends they have some freedom to kind of get into those routes. But if you can't trust the offensive line to hold up, then you got to use those guys to block. And hopefully we see a change here coming up soon with the tight ends.
Listen, Coach Hugh Freeze and his offensive prowess have incorporated the tight end frequently in his previous stints as head coach. Montgomery goes 4 wide a lot more often, but I know that they will be open to using a tight end as a split out receiver. So I anticipate that the tight ends are going to get some opportunities this season to play and be involved in the pass game. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it works out. Brandon Andrews jumps in. I just think it's information collecting at least the first few practices. Everyone relax. It is.
Yeah.
And again, that's quite literally what he said. He's going to be stress testing. He's going to be switching up stuff, and he's going to be putting people in different situations to figure out what he's got, because, he made the same statement about, this is something I talked about when Peyton Thorne first got on, how Coach Hugh Freeze hadn't made the statement. I don't know what I have in Peyton Thorne. I haven't coached him yet. He said that exact phrase in the presser yesterday. He's like, to be honest with you, I'm excited about him, but I haven't coached him a single down yet. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to put him in some scenarios and we'll see what we got.
Yeah. We'll see.
Listen, man, it's true to his word, man. I don't have no, when Coach Freeze says a thing, it seems to be consistent, the things that he keeps saying in different scenarios. So now you have to say, this is kind of who he is as a person. You understand the nuance of what he's saying, and what he's not saying isn't some mystery. He just didn't say it at that time.
He's straight up. I actually appreciate that about him. He is straight up. He's gonna say a lot of what he's thinking. I remember Gus being so tight-lipped at the podium whenever he had to talk. Oh yeah, it was great. We played. Like that's all you're going to get from Gus. Hugh Freeze is sitting here telling you, I don't know, I'm thinking about this. I'd like to see more of that. They weren't really that good. I need them to be better. Listen, he's saying all the things.
Right.
Between what he's saying when they ask him questions and also what he's doing with the roster, he's telling you what he thinks of the roster.
Right.
With how he's recruiting and filling it from the transfer portal. Hugh Freeze is honest. You don't have to guess about what he says. He's going to do something, and then you're going to see it, and then he's going to explain it to you when he's asked in the presser. We don't have to guess. Right. The only thing that's a question mark for us is what the result is going to be after he's done all his evaluation and the fall starts. But listen, you don't have to guess about what he's saying and thinking right now. He's telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris S. tells me, you chill out, Ike. It's the season for overreacting. People haven't seen football in a while. I'm fine. Listen, if you want to overreact, that's not going to tell me to tell you not to do. I'm still going to tell you, hey, man, probably, listen, my wife doesn't watch the stream as much these days, so I get to talk about her more freely. She overreact about stuff all the time. And I have to be like, hey, it ain't that deep. I know she's still going to overreact. Hey, calm down. It's all good. I know she's still going to do it. I'm still going to tell her, hey, it's okay. So I know you're still going to overreact, but I'm still going to be like, hey, we're good. My son, something happened. Oh, I'm like, hey, man, check it. Look, we went to the water park, and he was out there on Tuesday. Now he's got a life vest on. My son is like 4 foot something. Like, he's ridiculously tall human being to only be 7 years old. And the first time he got in, now it's 3 feet of water with a life vest on. And like, we're in this wave pool and the waves are coming and he's like freaking out. And I'm like, stand up. It literally can't do anything to you. You have this vest on and you're taller than the height of this water. You are fine. Yeah. And that's all I'm trying to tell our fan base. Hey. It's cool. Look, we're standing. We're good. That's all I'm saying. That's it. But hey, if you want to freak out and, oh my God, waves, then I'm just going to laugh at you. That's my next recourse, is just to laugh and be like, all right.
Chris was being facetious, by the way. He was, of course, mocking the people who are over.
No, I understand. I understand. Yeah. I'm not saying Chris is overreacting. I'm saying people who are overreacting. I'm gonna just laugh at y'all and be like, okay, cool. B Will, how is the continuity going? John Brandon, of course.
Brandon trying to mock me for regaling the importance of continuity. That's my big word for the day. Yes, John Brandon, continuity is important. We have none of it. That's all. Let's go.
Corey Weber says, we keep talking about Peyton and Robbie. Holden has the best arm talent. I said this Wednesday. I think that Holden probably has the best arm in that room.
Yes, I think that's accurate. But I think it's also very accurate that that's not the entirety of.
Oh, for
You know,
sure. Oh,
yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
we all know that.
Yeah.
We do keep talking about Peyton and Robbie, but I think it's because we know that that's experience. One has the most. Peyton, Robbie has the second most experience. That's it. The least amount of time to play with Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford. Holden Geriner could stay here for another year and continue to pick up on the game, pick up on the system, and be a strong candidate to contribute next season. Or, knock on wood, if something happens with injury with one of these guys, he's going to have to be ready for it. I think Hugh Freeze is looking for the guy with what he's asking for and what we know he's looking for in quarterback. He definitely, Brian Harsin was all talking about command and being sharp and being prepared, which is why, again, TJ Finley was able to climb to starter at that point in time because he understood. He was being that coach on the field. I don't hear Hugh Freeze saying that those are the most important things. It's really how he carries himself. The quarterback has to carry himself a certain way. He has to be mature. He has to be a leader. And that's not necessarily with precision in the offense. I assume that that's a big part of it, but that's not what Hugh Freeze has cited here as the most important thing. He definitely mentioned accuracy when he first arrived. That's really big. But it hasn't been about who is the most surgical operator of the offense. He wants everything to come together. And I think the people part has to come together. The mental and emotional side of these players has to everybody has to be on that same page, and we'll figure the football out. I think he's looking for that mental and emotional leader first. And then the rest will come into play. I think Holden's probably the furthest behind in that regard, which is why he could shine on a pro day when it's all about how you throw, but not necessarily in practices when it's more about your connection to these people and your leadership on the field. So he's got time, though. I hope.
And I think that Holden's lack of experience points to that more than his ability to be a leader, right? Like, I think that he probably has it in him. And I wish that I was there for the fireside, get an opportunity to talk to him, because I get a better impression of people when I have an opportunity to actually speak with them. And I'm looking for, I haven't even seen it yet. The new fireside that we have, Holden's there, Robbie's there, Luke Deal, who I've spoken to many times, Robbie I've spoken to many times. Haven't had a chance to kind of get an impression of him as a person yet. I am looking forward to seeing that fireside, because this will be the first time that I've ever really heard Holden outside of a press gaggle in a locker room after a day type of stuff even speak. Right. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well spoken he is, just kind of his command, presence, all that sort of thing. Valencia Jackson asks an important question. Ike, when will the interview with the women basketball drop? We are working on that. We'll probably have that and the fireside for you guys within a week, right? So like by next Friday or Saturday, we'll probably have both of those things up on the channel. We got to do some work to get those things ready for you. But if you didn't know, I had the opportunity to sit down with 3 of the young ladies from the women's basketball team, and we've got an interview with them coming up. It's not a fireside chat. We're actually got to interview them. I don't know if she want me to say this, but we got to interview him at Coach J's house. We were at Coach J's house out on the patio. She let us come in there and set up in that way. So good little interview we had kicking off with them. We'll get that up on the channel for you guys. We're about to get out of here. We appreciate you guys dropping in with us this morning. If you didn't already, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you head over to our sponsor for today's morning drop. As always, rogueshop.com, using code REPORT, 15% off your purchase when you head over there. That lets them know the guys at the War Report sent you. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend about what's going on over here at the War Report. We will be back at you guys. KJ Bolden's commitment is tomorrow. I know a lot of people have eyes on that. We'll make sure that we talk a little bit about that once that happens. But until then, it should be Sunday the next time you hear from us. And as always, War Eagle. Peace.
War Eagle.